Happy New Year, guys. Sorry I haven't been able to make any videos. December was nuts. My house is never quiet, so I can't record my voice lines because the house is just nuts and chaos. But with that, I was overwhelmed with the amount of views and subscribers I got from the Lucas video. You guys say you hate Lucas in the comments, but realistically, we all just hate to love him because Lucas is hilarious. So today I'm going to do something a little different. Through 2022, I did play some really decent games. I'd like to share the games I played with you, and I recommend you check them out. So I'm going to start at number 10. So this game here is called Moonscars. Very similar to Blasphemous if you've ever played it. A nice 2D side scroller. Souls-like-ish. I don't like throwing that term around very often. But yeah, it's got a cool parry system, really cool art style, very difficult, honestly, really punishing, challenging, but I really enjoyed my time with it. Not the best of this type of game, but I personally enjoyed my time with it. I think the challenge, the reward, everything was pretty good. It's got a weird sort of roguelike system in it, where you get power-ups, but when you die, the power-ups reset, and then you've got to go and get them again. It's a bit strange, but it works. It's really cool. I enjoyed my time with this. I recommend you check this one out. And at number 9, I have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Now, I personally like this game because it took me back to the 90s when the older games were out. I really enjoyed the old games, and this really brought it back. And the team that made this was the team that made Streets of Rage 4, and they did a fantastic job of that. This is really fun. It's co-op, it's a 4-player. It's on all platforms, I think, and it's definitely worth checking out. It's only short, the soundtrack's really cool, the gameplay's really fun, definitely worth checking this game out. Number 8, I've got Tunic. Now, Tunic, I absolutely loved. The world is fantastic, the art style is absolutely phenomenal. The gameplay is very similar to Death's Door, if you've ever played that. It's a very confusing world if you don't read up on the notes you find throughout the game. I got absolutely lost in this game and I loved it. It took me ages to figure out all the little things, how to get around the world. The combat is fun. The boss fights are absolutely fantastic. The world they built here is fantastic, and I hope they make another game similar to it, a Tunic 2, whatever they want to call it. I do suggest checking this one out. It's also available on Game Pass if you have Game Pass, and it's on all platforms. Definitely worth checking this one out. At number 7, I have Neon White. Neon White was something recommended from other YouTube channels, and I just thought I'd check it out. If you're a speedrunner, you're going to love this game. The premise is get through the level as quick as you can. The person to do it in the fastest time gets the highest spot on the leaderboard. Trust me, I've been chasing that number 1 spot on the leaderboard. It's going to be impossible. There's always going to be someone faster than me. I'm too much of a boomer. My reaction time isn't that quick anymore. But Neon White is definitely worth checking out. If you love fast-paced games in general, you're going to like Neon White. I think the art style, the story's quite fun, cheesy but fun, and the worlds are pretty nice to look at. Definitely worth checking out. At number 6, I'm going for Sifu. This single-player beat-em-up is what I've been wanting from the old Streets of Rage days. A 3D beat-em-up, can't go wrong. The combat systems in this game are fantastic. Learning the dodge, parry mechanic is really difficult to begin with, but once you get it down, the game becomes a lot easier. Towards the end, the 2 final bosses were a real pain. Perfecting the final boss was hard work. That took me a while, and I still don't think I've done it, to be honest with you. I haven't picked the game up in a while, but as one of my favourite games of 2022, and definitely not a full price game, this is definitely up there. If you haven't played Sifu yet, it's on PC and PS5, definitely worth playing. I strongly suggest you pick this one up. It is fun from beginning to end. At number 5, I have Cuphead, The Delicious Last Course. Now, what else can I say? If you've played Cuphead before and you haven't got the DLC yet, definitely worth getting it. It's very short, but it's sweet, very sweet, and it was very inexpensive. I think I paid £6 for it. Cuphead DLC, it's just more Cuphead. You can't go wrong with it, and if you haven't played the original Cuphead, I do suggest you try it. Regardless of people saying it's difficult, you stick with it, yeah, you'll get it. But Cuphead, The Delicious Last Course was an absolute fantastic finale to the game. I really do hope they make more with Cuphead. We can only hope. Definitely worth checking this one out if you can. At number 4, I'm going for Metal Hellsinger. This game I think went under a lot of people's radar. I have no idea why. It wasn't talked about enough. The gameplay in this is absolutely phenomenal, complemented by an amazing soundtrack. I absolutely listen to this soundtrack in my car so often. I can't stress enough how fantastic this game is. The rhythm-based combat is really fun, rewarding. It's a Doom style first person shooter that's rhythm based. It's really satisfying. There's a leaderboard as well, which I can't get nowhere near the top. Another one, but definitely worth checking this one out, especially if you like metal music. If not, just download the soundtrack and listen to it in your own time, because the soundtrack is definitely worth it. At number 3, I have Vampire Survivors. Now, between Game Pass and Steam, I have sunk so many hours into this. The gameplay loop is so addictive. It's just good old fun. And if you're anything like me, you'll just go game after game after game, and then you've lost 4 hours of your day. Vampire Survivors is available now on all platforms. I seriously, for £4 or $5, whatever it is, including the new DLC, definitely worth picking this up. I don't think you'll have any more fun in the game than Vampire Survivors, and it's the most simple thing ever. At number 2, I have God of War Ragnarok. Christopher Judge, Sonny Soldier, all the other actors, because I don't remember the names, have done a phenomenal job in this story. The gameplay is actually fun. The story is told in a very well-made way. If you're after a 40-hour-ish adventure, I think it took me about 60 hours to platinum the game. It's absolutely fantastic. The boss fights to get the platinum are actually challenging, and they're really, really well made. Just like the Valkyries in 2018 God of War. Definitely worth picking it up if you have a PlayStation. If not, wait until the PC release. But God of War Ragnarok is a very, very well made game. Well polished, as PlayStation games normally are. I gotta give them credit for that. As much as I like to make fun of PlayStation fanboys, PlayStation exclusives are really, really well-made games. And the music and sound design in God of War Ragnarok are fantastic. Towards the end, the score becomes phenomenal. Definitely worth picking this one up if you have a PlayStation. At number 1, this game needs no introduction. It's Elden Ring. We should all know about Elden Ring by now. Honestly, the first playthrough of this game was just probably the best. I went through the world exploring as much as I can on my first playthrough, and honestly, I just got lost so many times. The boss fights were phenomenal. The music, the scenery, everything about Elden Ring absolutely had me in awe. I don't use that word often. No game is perfect, but Elden Ring is bloody close to it. Honestly, if you haven't played this by now, you should. And even when I went to my second playthrough to go and get the platinum for the game, I found more stuff. On my third playthrough to get the third ending, I found even more stuff. Honestly, this game just had me in awe constantly. Elden Ring was my game of the year for last year, and it will be my favourite game for a long time. This game beat The Witcher 3 out for me, and I thought that would never happen. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt was absolutely fantastic from beginning to end. Elden Ring blew it out the water, and I strongly suggest if you haven't played Elden Ring yet, give it a try. If you like it, if you don't like it, that's up to you, but I can waffle on about this game for hours and then just lose myself talking to myself, basically. Some honourable mentions here. The first one is Thymesia. I think I was saying that right. Thymesia is a Souls-like or Bloodborne style type game. I didn't put it, it would have been higher on the list, but the amount of Souls-likes that are out there, I'll be here forever doing a top 100 list. I have no idea by now, but Thymesia is definitely worth checking out if you like the Souls-style combat, especially Sekiro. It has a good parry system in it. The boss fights are fun, the worlds are really interesting. Graphically, nothing amazing, but I did enjoy my time with Thymesia. Definitely worth checking out, and it's not a full price game. Next, I have Trek Tiomi. Trek Tiomi has a cool art style, all being black and white, in a cinematic style setting. It's really fun combat, quite a cool story. The combat took me time to get used to, some challenging boss fights as well. Definitely worth checking out Trek Tiomi, especially if it's on offer. I think I played it on Game Pass as well, so it's on there. Definitely worth it. Next I have High on Life. Now, High on Life gameplay, I say is really fun. I like the game. The comedy is funny at times, but really, the dialogue outstays its welcome sometimes. They could have really cut it down, but definitely worth checking out. Also, the music in High on Life is just the worst I've ever heard in any game going. But the gameplay is definitely worth it. Plus, it's on Game Pass. Definitely not top 10 worthy, but I do recommend you play it. Like I say, the comedy is funny, just outstays its welcome every now and again. Now, that's my top 10 list. Let me know, guys, if you like this style of content. I'll go back to doing fanboy stuff soon. I have to go searching through Twitter, I have to go searching through YouTube. I've got some time off now, I'll try and make some videos on fanboys. And let me know what you think. And for all those who subbed and watched my previous video, like I say, the numbers were nuts. Thank you guys so much. like, subscribe if you so choose to, comment down below, let me know what your game of 2022 was. I enjoy making this content. I'll see you in the next one.
Like snakes, we coil our judgment.